Just let me address this real quick. I am going through something that I don't think is very different than every other parent in the country. My family, I've chosen to look at it as our family is currently being purified. There's some things that are going on, and they just have to be solved, and we'll all be stronger for it when we get to the other side. It's getting to the other side that is such an issue, and some of it has to do with mental health, and on Tuesday I was on the air and we were talking about things that are going on in your household that maybe you know or don't know. And I was at a complete loss of words, and Stu jokingly, just to cover the awkward space, said, I've never seen you at a loss for words. And that is because I was about just to spill everything, because I have had this ability given to me when I am humble, when I am doing my job the right way, and when I am actually trying to serve you. I can feel you. I can feel when things connect with you. I just can feel you. I don't know how to describe it, but I've had that ability for a long time. And as I'm talking about this, I could feel an overwhelming sense of how many people are going through similar things that we're going through, except you're working 70 hours a week. You and your wife, or you and your husband, both have full-time jobs, and you're dealing with them in school, the kids in school, and trying to keep that straight. You're trying to keep food on the table, and you don't have the time or the resources that I have, and I'm overwhelmed. And I don't know what to do. And I understand this world probably better than others as far as the mental health thing. And I'm at a complete loss. So, first of all, you're not alone if you're going through things. You are not alone. And I am going to double my effort to try to find answers. You know, suicide is off the charts with our children. It's doubled. What is it? 37% with male African Americans, something like that. Some crazy stat. And no one is talking about it. And it has to do with our entire society. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, we used to walk to school, and all of that bull crap. You can look at the past and say, it wasn't that great, it had problems. Yeah, but at least there was truth. At least we had people in the community that felt like we did, and we kind of helped each other out. We weren't trying to suck our kids into some sort of pedophilia ring or get them to change genders or whatever it is. Society was basically stable, and we agreed generally on right and wrong. We don't anymore. And so our kids go out, and you may be the only voices of sanity that they hear all day. And I wouldn't want to be a kid. Would you want to be a kid today? Going through, can you imagine? Just think of yourself as a girl for a second. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that, gentlemen. Think of yourself as a teenage girl. You know the stress of how they look, what they wear, all that bull crap. Can you imagine you're on tape every day, or you're being recorded every day? So you just want to go to school one day and just look like crap, or you just want to go to school and you have a bad day and you say something, do something. It's now there forever, and you can never, ever let it go because it's there. Just imagine that pressure. And then I think of the pressure of you. There's this pressure of you got to do your best. Well, I've done my best. I have absolutely done my best. I have done everything I possibly can, and it still feels at times like failure. It's not. It's really not. But it'll feel that way. And you don't, if you're like me, there are times that you want to look at your kids and go, suck it up, buttercup. You know, when I was a kid. But we cannot compare these times to the times that we lived in because everything was different. And, you know, I just think of church. You know, if you don't live in a community where the majority of people go to church, and you know what? There are bad Christians, there's bad Jews, there's bad atheists. I get it, whatever. Not everybody that goes to church is a good person. But at least the society is kind of trying to bend that way. Where now society, if you're in a place where where they're not godly people searching for God at least, I don't know how you do it. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get harder because the options of God, I mean, think of going to church now. I mean, I go to church and we still dress up and wear a tie and everything else. And it's like, oh, that's the hardest thing. Well, that and actually living by the principles. That's the hardest thing. That's not going to get easier. And it's certainly not going to become more popular. The choices that our kids will be offered will be really easy and enticing. And if we can't get them to see the truth, no one in their life in this atmosphere that they're just going to bump into the streets, odds are they're not going to help them make good choices. So how do we do it? How do we do it? And how do we keep our life on track? I know that you are. I know how hard you're working. I mean, I assume you're working hard. I mean, there are probably some people who are like, yeah, I'm living off the government. It's pretty sweet. Probably not in this audience. Working hard. Trying to keep just all I want, my children to be happy. You know, we had a therapist that was, you know, she was like, she's just started with us. And one of I can tell you this part. My daughter wants to be an actress. And so this therapist was talking generally about things. And she was like, you know, sometimes parents, you know, they want their kids to do a certain thing or be a certain way. And so they, you know, without knowing, they're encouraging. And I said, I'll stop you right there. I would give up everything if my daughter would go, I don't want to be an actress. I would celebrate, fireworks. I'd give away my house if I could get that to happen. I so do not want to send her into the mouth of the lion. And yet, I help her every night learn her lines. I help her with her acting skills. I drive her, and so does her mom, 30 miles away every single night, 6 nights a week, so she can go practice and be in shows. So I get it. We're good parents. You're a good parent. You're doing the best you can. We're just living in different times. I hope this made sense to you. And if it didn't, oh well.